Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Moon Has Left the Building. I am Sam Palmer with my co-host.
Addy Chard.
How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm feeling good today. Yeah, the world seems a completely different place this morning. David Moyes is the Messiah. West
We've
Ham
got Super David Moyes.
and West Ham are massive and the best football club in the world. That's all I can say.
It is mad how, because I was looking at it and I was even thinking as I was watching the game, thinking, the podcast can be a different place. And like all my text groups were great. And so I suppose we have to delve into it. I suppose we're recording this just after we beat Brentford last night 4-1. Bowen hat-trick and an Emerson screamer.
Yeah.
Did you go?
4-2 in the end, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, 4-2. Sorry, I've even forgot they scored a goal. Yeah, Vis scored at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, but such a much better performance, wasn't it, than what we've seen lately. Just energy levels, effort levels, and just being more positive is just so much better than what we've seen lately, isn't it?
I thought so. How was the mood when you got over?
I mean, there was murmurings, moanings, and like we said last week, I think if they'd got an early goal or anything like that, it would have been very toxic. But I mean, what do we score after 2 minutes? And that kind of just, the mood just changed completely after that. So yeah, good atmosphere over there, and it's so weird. And it's like we were saying before, as long as we win, the fans don't really care about the style of football. Although it was much better last night, they don't really care about the style of football. They just want to win.
And that's what
it's
it's
been
like.
a
The
long time
people
coming.
that reminisce about Upton Park, like it was some fortress with an amazing atmosphere all the time. I don't remember it like that. I remember it as a bit of a dump where you could never get any food or drink. Do you remember? You could never ever get hot water. Used to run out just after half time, didn't it? Just as you got down there. And do you know what? I can still remember me and you had the last ever hot dog I ever had there. Do you remember? I bet you remember it. When we got a hot dog, we bit it and just threw it in the bin because the bun was stale. It was just absolute
It's just
disgusting.
so bad.
And it's like the people that go on about Upton Park and they remember this thing that I don't think really happened. I think they remember certain games, like the Man United last game, obviously, like Man United maybe 2-2, beating Spurs 4-3. Them days were brilliant atmospheres. But I remember going over Upton Park a lot, and the atmosphere was quite flat.
Yeah, especially towards the end, before we moved. Many a home game, the atmosphere was flat and it was quiet, and yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's funny you don't really hear that murmuring about London Stadium anymore and things like that. I suppose that's a good thing to go into. What are your takes on the ground?
On the ground, uh, I don't mind it. Obviously, it's not built for football. I wish that the stands were closer to the pitch to create more of an atmosphere. But I remember the first time that I walked over the sort of walking from the station to the ground and seeing it and just thinking, I can't believe this is our stadium. Do you know what I mean? And it's an elite stadium, just not necessarily built for football. But I've got used to it. I don't mind it. And there has been some amazing nights down there.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just you just wish you was that little bit closer to the pitch, and that's the only thing I would say from my point of view.
I'm still so surprised that nobody has bought West Ham. Like, because I thought when we'd go to the new stadium, I thought we'd become very attractive to someone because, like, for example, the Newcastle guys came in and we're a very similar club to Newcastle. I think, like, there's us, Everton, Spurs they've probably gone past, they've gone past us, I think, now as a club with their facilities and everything like that. But we were all kind of the same club, never won anything, but had big support. Even City, for up until they got bought, But I'm really shocked that no one ever came in and said, I fancy West Ham. We're in like if you were buying in London, you've got the choice of West Ham, Fulham, or Palace. You'd surely think West Ham is a much better option because we know that ground can go to 80,000 because it was done in the Olympics, wasn't it?
Mm.
So I think it could be, and I know what you mean with that. I actually love Stratford. I love it. I love the location of it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about Stratford? You know when you're outside the ground, like as you either go just before you get in the turnstile or just outside. I reckon that is the windiest place in the world. Isn't it? The wind is so bad there for some reason. Yeah. But you go in the ground and you take your coat off. It's a really weird one, but I love it that there's all the restaurants around there. I love the little bars outside. I like the food inside the ground. I think also we have to look at the cost of ticket is very different to other Premiership grounds. And I think, like for where we sit in the one just behind the manager, basically. That seat is so good. It is like it's as good as any seat in football. It's actually, I think, better than the director's box because then the director's box has that gap between it, like that walkway. So obviously that's one of the most expensive tickets there. But then you can take your kids over there for. Can you still get like £150 ticket over there, like a season ticket for kids? Or
I'm not sure that cheap, but compared to other Premier League teams, it's incomparable. Really, it's really cheap.
So you have to take that into account a little bit. American sports over here is insane to take people to.
Yeah.
Like when you look at how much it is to go to watch the Lakers or something like that, you're talking about a rubbish seat, probably like the worst seat in there is probably $70. The best seat, well, forget floor seats, but behind it about $1,000 a ticket.
It's crazy.
I just don't know how people take their kids to sport over it. It's like insane. So then you get a different crowd because you get a wealthier crowd. So it's very different. American sport, I really don't enjoy it actually. I think because of that. It's elitist because you just couldn't afford to go. So I think when you take our tickets into that, you look and go, actually, it's not that bad. But for me, I just can't believe someone hasn't bought us and thought, right, we've got a big stadium here that we can redevelop a little bit, and then we've got a good size fan base. We've got a great sort of good team on paper that we can work with. Need a new training ground, obviously, but. Maybe it's because they're asking too much money for it. I don't know, but it really shocks me that no one came into it. When you looked at, you could buy Chelsea for what did they go for, 5 or 6 billion? Something. It was billions. West Ham wasn't that. They could have bought West Ham instead of Chelsea and put more money into the team.
Yeah. Well, even the Saudis buying Newcastle. Like what has Newcastle got that West Ham hasn't?
Yeah,
and we're in London.
Like, it's much more attractive because we're in London.
Yeah, so
it doesn't.
No, I'm with you. I can't understand why no one is. There seems to be so many, companies, individuals looking to buy football clubs, and yet we seem to be sort of going under the radar. Maybe they know something that we don't.
Yeah, maybe they do, and it's but I think we'll get back to last night then. So, mood was okay. I think obviously the biggest change was our Brazilian Magnifico was back, and he started unbelievably, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think I think it's right that we haven't won a game without him in the team.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? And shows why we struggled so much without him. But yeah, he's just brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah. He really pulled the strings yesterday, I thought. And I thought he actually lasted quite well. I thought he didn't really fade. He battled. I think yesterday we really saw how special he probably is to us because that's him hasn't been playing for 8 weeks or 7 weeks or something like that. and he was back. I was hoping actually when we went to 3 up or whatever it was, 3-1, that we were going to get him off early because I thought, and I also wanted us to get off Zuma because I think you need to get him. I think we changed the centre back pairing yesterday.
Yeah.
I still felt it wasn't great. I think we got away with it a little bit. If you look at the goals, I think Zuma was at fault for 1, maybe 2.
I thought that.
Mavropanos also should have been, I think, a bit close, but he was kind of... Souček let his man go for the first one. Zuma's caught out of position. And then Mavropanos goes to go to Zuma's man, but then his man's there. But yet he wasn't kind of tight enough, and the old arms behind the back defending couldn't get him close enough. But again, though, they did win with them. I thought Soufal and Emerson looked much better. Emerson seems to play so well with Paqueta in front of him.
Oh, they're brilliant together, aren't they?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that sort of... I wonder if they played together as kids at all, like because they're both Brazilian, aren't they? I know Emerson plays for Italy, but I wonder if they knew each other or anything like that. Their paths across, but they've got a very good understanding. Maybe they're just very good friends.
I think that's probably what it is. But their style of play is very similar as well, isn't it? And they link up so well together. But yeah, he was great last night. I mean, he's been great all season, but he was again really positive. Linking up with Paqueta, it was good.
Do you reckon Emerson will get Hammer of the Year?
He'll be definitely in the conversation. I don't know. I mean,
I suppose
he's in the conversation.
I suppose it's really you think Paqueta.
This is or Bowen. Bowen's had was that 14?
You kind of just expect it of them. It's almost like a bit like Deck. Like when others won it over him, like Souček won him over a year, and it was because he played really well. But actually, Deck should have been it, really, when you looked at it, because he was the best player every week.
I didn't understand that at all.
I thought Souček actually, I know he didn't score yesterday, but I thought he was a real threat. He should have scored yesterday. He should have scored maybe at least one. But it showed that he was a bit of a different threat. And I thought we looked stronger with him in the team yesterday.
I totally agree. I thought he won some crucial headers in our own box, and he kept popping up in their box in like really good areas. Again, his energy level, maybe, he's got a point to prove being dropped for the last game. But I thought that was one of his best performances of the season, I thought.
And do you know what? So then I get to, like, I'm on West Ham groups. Like with friends, and it's probably, I would say, 50-50 divide on one group, probably 80-20 on the others. The other one that I'd say 80-20, they hate Souček, they hate Moyes, love Agard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Areola. So they won't have anything against them too. And I think then Souček he's another player that really divides opinion, whether he should be in the team or not. But I think sometimes like he'll have a good game, but if his name was Alvarez, they would be going, oh, what a player, amazing. Yeah. But because it's Souček, they've kind of won't let it go. And I don't know why we're like that as West Ham fans. I was actually thinking of this yesterday because there wasn't much in the game that we were saying earlier that wasn't much really that we could say, right, it was an amazing game or a rubbish game. I thought we played well. I thought it was enjoyable to watch as a West Ham fan. In anything, it was a little bit easy because we had the lead. Do we love to hate? Are we just... Because I've got you might remember him, Nicky Dixon. He's on one group. Yeah. So Nicky Dixon is on this group. We are called the Canning Downers. And He says West Ham fans are the biggest morons in the world. They should be happy. He's on the massive Moyes inside. Look what he's done. Kind of what Moyes says. Massive. And he said, like, just be happy. And he said, you lot all Debbie Downers, always have a go. Like, and he like, if West Ham, like yesterday, he said, what a rubbish game. Should have been 6. Like, taking the piss out of us. But, and then when you analyse it, right, we've lost against Arsenal. We got trounced. Okay, that wasn't good enough. But we'd expect to lose against Arsenal. Beat them twice this year. We'd expect to lose. Forest result, we lost. Okay, that's a bad one. But then you look, draw against Bournemouth. Okay, that could swing either way. Draw against Brighton. Well, we never beat Brighton. And a draw against Sheffield United. Okay, we should hopefully beat them. But we haven't lost any of them games. So then it comes down to Bristol City, Arsenal and Forest. Would any other manager in the Premiership be under fire for losing 3 games? Like not under fire, like ridiculously under fire. And that's kind of, when you look at it like that.
Yeah, when you say it like that, you're right. It's a bit extreme, isn't it? I guess the fans are thinking about last season as well. And in those games, there's been some, dog awful performances. But you're right. When black and whites of it, we've lost 3 games.
Which is what kind of Moyes was saying, really. Like, it's not that much of a crisis. We're where we should be. And I saw that like our expected points and our points tallies over the years and things like that. We're ahead of schedule. We scored more goals. So it's hard. And I think, unfortunately, this toxicity around Moyes is probably going to continue for as long as he's there. The problem is, though, it will then happen with the new manager. Because it's happened to every single management, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The only one I never remember it happening to was Harry. Maybe I was too young to remember it, but I don't ever remember anyone being upset with Harry.
No. I remember it being I remember feeling it was a bit of a shock when he left. I can't actually remember. I loved Harry, so I remember being gutted when he left, and it felt like a bit of a shock at the time. I can't quite remember the circumstances. But yeah, no, you're right. We do, even more recently, Slav. We all love Slav, when he come back. But we sort of turned on him in that second season, didn't we? We don't suffer fools gladly, even if they're one of our own.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So why are we like this as a fan base? What I can't answer that. I don't know why, but we are like it as a fan base. We're not happy with anything. And I don't know what we all expect, because we all, not one person yesterday said football's rubbish. We all said play quite well today, didn't we?
Yeah, I agree.
And who was the manager who played that football? It was the same man. So I don't know. I think, I'm still on the fence with Moyes because of the toxicity. I don't like it. It's rubbish when it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm with him at the minute, but the fans don't seem to be. And so that can't last, can it?
As soon as he loses or draws, it's going to be back.
Yeah. Just going to be on his back again.
And that's, and then, because I was thinking, like, would Wolves fans be saying sack Gary O'Neill if he loses a few games, but yet still in around where they are now? Like, Spurs fans didn't do that to Ange when they come out the top 4 for a bit, lost a few games. I know they had a lot of injuries. They kind of looked, but so did we. We were missing Paqueta. We were missing Kudos. We were missing Agard, like, for them, Antonio. Like, that's 4 of our bigger players that we were missing. And Zuma at one point.
and especially when we've got probably the tiniest squad in the Premier League as well. Do you know what I mean? So the players coming in are just not of the quality. So it's a huge miss. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the answer is, Sam. To be honest with you, like like I said, at the minute, I'm backing the manager, but lots of fans aren't, and you can understand there have been lots of games where it's been awful, but when you look at the results on the whole, especially this season, it's been okay. It's been all right.
Because if you said to us all last year, right where we are right now, would you take it? We would have all said 100%.
Absolutely. Even the start of the season, I was thinking this is going to be a struggle this season.
Yeah, we'd lost Eck.
Yeah. And to be where we are, like I would have ripped your hands off for it. So
I think Moyes is one of them people, and maybe that is what they should have said, really, in some ways, of judge me over a season. I need the season because we are going to lose games. We're going to go through spells. I think sometimes if a manager actually said that, actually maybe makes the fans a bit more realistic. We're going to have, if depending on injuries, we're going to have long spells where we might not win. But then we're going to put some runs. If we put some runs together, we'll make that ground up, and you'll see by the end of the season, we're going to get here. I know Big Sam actually used to always talk about points totals, didn't he? He used to always talk about in these 6 games, we got to pick these points up in these games, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was big
sense.
on that.
It makes sense.
It does, because you actually think it's doom and gloom. But what are we, 7th again?
I think we're 8th.
We're 8th level with Brighton, aren't we?
Of 7th. Yeah.
I think we're actually just goal difference, aren't we?
Oh, you might be right. You might be.
I think it's goal difference.
And I think the way it's going as well, 7th will get you into Europa League again. So we're in there. We're in.
And 8th would get you in the Conference League then.
Sorry. 7th will get you in the Conference League.
Yeah, because 5th they reckon's going to get Champions League. 6th will be Europa. Don't you get 2 Europas? Oh, depending on who wins the cups.
Okay.
It'll be if the big boys win the FA and Carabao, then I think it goes to another league position, which in the last few years has always been the big ones who have won it. Liverpool just won the
Carabao Cup.
And also, if Liverpool won Europa, that might change as well, because they'll go in the Champions League, won't they?
Oh yeah.
And they've got a very good chance of winning that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we are level points with Brighton, and we are 5 behind Manchester United. Now, when you say that, and also we're 4 in front of Chelsea and Newcastle, 2 in front of Newcastle. So you kind of look and go, okay, if you woke up today after being in a coma, you would go, whoa, what a season they're having.
West Ham are doing all right.
It's funny, and look, I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it, but for some reason, it's like we got a God-given right to win every game.
It's so reactionary, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think other clubs are.
The weekend,
pardon?
It'd be doom and gloom again. If we lose, it's so reactionary. Like we lose to Everton at the weekend, it'd be everyone would be down and doom and gloom and.
In this podcast, we'll be saying, get them out, everyone. I'm just looking. I don't
think we have said that, though, have we?
We're away to Everton as well, which is...
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. But
are you going?
I was going to say...
Are you going?
I'm not. No, I'm not going to this one. No.
I went to it last year, Everton away.
I think I went the season... Is it Ogbonna scored the winner? Was that this season before? I think it was season before.
Can't remember it.
And I just remember my view was horrendous. Like half the state,
It's got the pillar, isn't it?
Oh, it's awful. So,
I actually went on the day of when the Queen had passed away, and they were all booing the national anthem.
Okay, that sounds like Scousers.
Yeah, idiots. Other thing we'd never touched on from the last one is Europa draw. So we got Freiburg.
Yeah, which was sort of mixed emotions for me because we spoke about it wanting a glamour tie, but ultimately I think it's the tie. Like for us, it's the best draw we could have got.
There's actually some big clubs left in this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Um,
So like for getting through, I think it's one of the best draws we could have got.
So do I. Are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's next week, isn't it? Yeah, I booked flights and that.
Yeah, all the boys are going. I'm not going to go to this one. I've decided I actually can't. I've actually got work that day, so like that I need to do here. So there's no way I can go to it. But I think quarterfinals, I'll start coming. The old Glory fan this year. To be fair, on the other ones I've done nearly all of them. It's just so far to come from here. It's just
of course.
It's like it's such the jet lag is just insane.
It's a long old way
for a 2-day turnaround.
Hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully we get a glamour. Well, if we get through a glamour quarterfinal.
What's it called? AC Milan would be, because I'd fancy us against AC Milan.
Would you? Depends. I mean, it depends what West Ham turned up.
Because AC Milan's not the AC Milan of old.
No,
without a doubt. So I think that'd be a nice little tie. So I wanted to touch on some of the football chants. I saw this week, and that's what made me think of it. It was 31 years since Bobby Moore passed this year, and I actually saw someone sent around this lovely edited clip with this lovely song of Bobby Moore on there. It was like a very old song and a man singing. He'd obviously made it up, I think. I'd never heard it before, and it got me to thinking. Why is there not a Bobby Moore song? I know there is a Viva Bobby Moore that I have heard sung. It's the most rare song that's ever gets sung. Yeah. But considering he's the pinnacle of our club, he's almost like a godlike figure at our club, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because neither of us seen Bobby Moore play. Right. Both love Bobby Moore. I've worn 6 on my back the whole year, my whole life. I've got 6 on my arm. Never seen the man play. So my kids know Bobby Moore.
Iconic.
Yeah, and why is there no, we've got a Ludek McCloskey song, but we haven't got a Bobby Moore song. It's mad, isn't it?
It is a mad one. I don't know.
Because other clubs do sing, especially Man United. Man United always reel off old songs, don't they?
Yeah, they're the ones they've got a song for every old player, haven't they?
Yeah, and they still sing them all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
And I know Chelsea sing John Terry's song a lot. I think and we sing Ludek McCloskey. Or maybe sometimes you hear Christian Daly. You hear that? Yeah. You hear them more on away games, don't you?
Yeah. But they still sing them all the time. Both of those songs.
Paolo Di Canio. You don't really hear the Paolo song that much, and you never hear Julian Dick's one either. Julian. They say, got me. What is your West Ham favourite songs?
I've got the worst memory. Because West Ham fans are quite funny, and they normally come up with some.
Okay, this is 2 questions. I'm going to ask 2 guys. What are your favourite songs that we actually sing? And then what are the favourite ones that we have sung in the past?
Okay. So what do you know what I loved? We don't actually sing it no more. But I loved the Pay It song, and it just got everyone going, and we used to sing it so loud.
And we were the ones that actually created that song as well, because they sing Mick Arteta. It annoys me every time I hear it.
Everyone else nicked it, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was annoying. But I loved that. I do love the Christian Daly song just because it's quite funny as well. And he wasn't exactly a legend of a player either, but we still sing about him, which is funny. And even the Ludo McCloskey song as well, like, you know, singing that he comes from near Moscow and he doesn't come from anywhere near Moscow. It's
It's
just
actually
typical West
verges
Ham.
on racism there as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's Eastern Bloc,
somewhere over
Russia,
there. He's got,
the Czech
but yeah,
Republic.
oh, funny though. And I remember, I don't remember too many, but I remember. Do you remember when we beat Spurs at White Hart Lane in the League Cup? It was a season we beat them 3 times. So we had
Yes.
the Ravel Morrison goal at
Oh,
White Hart
yes.
Lane in the league, and then I think it was might have been the following Wednesday we played them in the League Cup. Went 1-0 down. I think it was Defoe scored. I think, and then Matt Jarvis equalised, and Modibo
Major.
Maiga.
Yeah.
He got the winner, and we were singing Maiga. He scored at White Hart Lane. He'll never score again, because he'd had a horrific time, because he just didn't score for us. He didn't score any goals.
He was rubbish, wasn't he? He was absolutely useless.
But after that, he was like a West Ham legend for life.
Cult hero.
Yeah, and that song, I always remember him singing that song, which was quite funny.
That's a couple of the funny ones. I remember when Tom Huddleston was warming up, and they were singing "You're shit and your mum's a slag," and they were saying that he was Harvey Price. Jordan was his mum. Like that one was, I thought, very funny. One of my favourite ever was when it was an exchange with Arsenal, actually, and we were singing, they were like going for the league. You're going to win F all. You've never won F all. We come back. We've won the effing World Cup. And then they finish it. So did we. So did we. So, and the whole ground went, hooray! And then the whole ground started singing, we all won the World Cup, all together. And it's the only time I've ever seen 2 fans singing together, but I thought it was so funny. But I love it when West Ham fans dig one person out in the crowd. Like, it's an away game thing.
Happens quite a lot though,
and it's so funny when they do it, because it is obviously mob mentality, and it really is bullying. But it is so funny. There'll be one person who jumps up that chirps up, and then they'll just constantly dig them out, like everything. There was one I don't think you came with me actually. It was Bournemouth away last year when we won. I'm sure it was last season or season before.
Yeah, did we win 4?
Yeah, we Fornell scored at the end. Come on, scored.
Yeah, scored.
Yeah, he scored. Like, did he like with his back heel? Or it was a really good goal.
Yeah,
that was it. And there was a guy with a drum in the crowd, and they didn't stop on him like all game. It just started, and he carried on. But in the end, he drummed it, and he was killing himself, and started the West Ham fans off with a chant to get him, and he was like going like. But actually, I thought that was a really nice one, because it wasn't nasty. It was just all nice fun. My favourite West Ham song, though, I think, is the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Bubbles. I love that song.
Yeah.
I really, it just goes on forever. When it never stops. It can go on for 20 minutes sometimes, can't it?
Yeah.
And I just loved that. I loved it from a little kid, that one, because it was always a bit harder to learn. But that one, and I have to say, and I'm gutted we don't sing it, because I love the Super David Moyes song. I love it. I think it's such a great song.
Well, doesn't it? That's another one you can sing for ages, and
just keeps rolling, doesn't it?
I don't even know if they'll ever sing that again, Sam. You know,
it's a shame, because it was kind of a European song. That West Ham is massive, and Bowen's on fire.
Yeah.
Those were our 3 European kind of songs, and they were so good. Right, when they sing. Do you remember? You came to Lyon away, didn't you?
Yeah.
And when we got locked in there for about 2 hours after, didn't we? and everyone came out, and then Moyes was on the pitch, and everyone just kept on singing. And Deck started West Ham is massive, didn't he?
Yeah.
He got everyone to go shh, and it quiet, and then he went West Ham is massive, and that was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, and everyone was together. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, it's a shame.
I like the Champions of Europe one as well. It's quite a good. I liked it when we're singing it to Liverpool as well. running round Tottenham with our European Cup. See, I actually quite like how that's been changed now. Like that song, because that song probably is a bit outdated now. Like singing it in it how it was.
The original.
Yeah. Like I still
course,
like that song, but I've got to tell you, I get in the shower, because Minnie, my daughter, for anyone listening, she's 3, but she knows more West Ham songs than anyone. She literally knows them all. And
Ultra.
We get in the shower, and we get the hand shower. She stands her back to us, and I put it like. But say it looks like she's doing a wee, and she'll sing, "I'm running round Tottenham with a willy hanging out," and she thinks it's so funny, the song. And every time we go into her school, because I say to her, "Whatever you do, you can't ever sing that song anywhere else," and she knows. And as we go into her school, drop her off, I say, "I'm going to sing a song," and she go, "No, Daddy, not that song," and I go, "Will be," and she goes. Puts the hand over my mouth, but she loves it. She does the Lucas Paquetá song because Deck was Minnie's hero. She loved Deck. She used to sing it all the time, the Declan Rice song. But now she goes, "We don't like Declan Rice." Boo, she said, but Minnie still. But she goes, but Minnie still loves him. But she loves she does the "Sold My Car," and she does this to Lucas Paquetá, and she does the Paquetá dance.
I love the way she's such a big West Ham fan.
She watches it with me. She loves it. She does. She knows I love it, and I don't know if she knows if West Ham's a team or a player, because I love West Ham. Where is West Ham? And you go, like she does. I told her Bowen scored yesterday, and because I've changed the song for Bowen. It's and he's kissing Danny Dyer. So she sings that one, and he's kissing Danny Dyer. But I do like the change to the West Ham Tottenham song with the European Cup. I think it's a better song.
Oh, it's quite funny as well, isn't it? Because it's winding them up, which I love.
I was speaking with a Tottenham fan after he won it, and he said, like, "Why on earth would you want to win that trophy? I'd rather win the League Cup." Of course you would, mate.
Do you know what? I've spoken to a few Spurs fans, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd love it. Just the occasion, winning something," and they just said, "I'd love it. I'd love it." So.
Because it was so good. I think it's just the whole European. It's so weird that other teams or other teams' fans didn't embrace Europe like we did. Because let's be honest, Spurs are a well-supported club. They're well-travelled away fans. But we really, really loved it. I couldn't care what one I was in. In actual fact, I wouldn't really want to. I wouldn't really want to go in the Champions League because you'd probably lose every game. And I'd much rather be in Europa or Europa Conference, because really, to me, the two doesn't really matter.
No.
Got more chance of winning Europa.
Yeah,
Conference.
I think it's just the fact that we haven't been in Europe for. Well, I guess we were and got knocked out twice by some Romanian farmers.
Astragugu or whatever they were called.
Yeah, but I think just the fact that we haven't had a good run in Europe for so long. It's we've fully embraced it and really gone for it.
Sorry, I've had a call here. I had a call come through on me. Sorry, yeah, it just happens through there. What was I going to say? So we are playing. Oh, so the funniest chant we've ever heard. I've got one written here. Do you remember Villa away? '06, Yannick Katan was around. And there was a drunk man, very drunk man, by us watching the game. I think we won 3-0 that day. I think Harewood might have scored. And he was on his own singing, wasn't he? And he was going, "New player, whoa, we don't know who you are. You're better than Jermaine. New player." But he was so drunk, wasn't he? Do you remember how drunk that guy was?
Oh, so funny. And we will never, ever forget it, will we?
And we sing it all the time, don't we? New player.
And then whenever we signed a new player
that we don't know.
Yeah. We used to just sing that.
And I've just thought of one. Do you remember when we was over? I don't know who we were playing. I think it must have been Man City, and Mark Hughes was the manager. And there was that guy. In front of us that just kept yelling Philip Schofield head at him. He done it all game, didn't he?
Oh, he did, yeah.
Because he had grey hair. He just kept shouting it, didn't he? All game. Philip Schofield head. Sit down, Philip Schofield head.
For some reason it was so funny. It was absolutely hilarious.
And then I think mine and Addy, so if you were old enough and you went to Upton Park, and I think on the west stand of the ground, and is that guy still at anywhere in Stratford, Dad? The sweet shop?
You know what? I think he is. I don't know for a fact, but I've heard a vicious rumour that he's still about.
So if anyone remembers this, but I don't know why, me and Addy used to find it like so funny. We used to go there just to hear it, and it's not even that funny. But he had a sweet stall with like 2 for £1, wasn't it? That you could buy 2 bags of sweets. They were pre-bagged like little jellies and things like that. But he used to have this monotone voice that never stopped, did it? And then he used to have this hovering hand that went over the sweets to show you what he was doing. And he'd go, "Anyway, you like, anyone like 2 for £1, 2 for £1, anybody like, anyway, why you like 2 for £1, 2 for £1, 2 for £1. He was like an auctioneer, wasn't he? But me and Addy used to go there just to hear it every week. And Addy actually sent me the clip of him the other day. But it was like the highlight of our day going to West Ham was to see that guy.
I mean, to be fair, I used to absolutely love his sweets. And so I used to go there to get sweets every game. But also the added bonus of just listening to him mumble away.
But he never stopped, did it?
No.
It's funny. It's funny, as you say that, I can already hear as well, like, you know, like that street. Overland and Sea, West Ham fanzine, and like,
I used to buy that every week as well.
Wonder whatever happened to Overland and Sea. It was a good fanzine, that.
Yeah, I remember speaking to him.
I suppose it became podcast.
Say that again.
I suppose it became a podcast. We're doing it right now. I suppose that's what a fanzine was.
I used to speak. His name was Gary Firminger, I think.
Gary Firminger, that was it.
And because I used to go there like on my own for quite a while, and I used to see him, and he used to be like some sort of hero to me. He runs Overland and Sea.
Journalist.
He used to talk to me every time he used to talk to me every time I used to go and buy it off him. But yeah, I remember him saying like he was just packing up.
And then you used to have the vintage program seller up the other end outside the West Stand, where you do the old programs and badges.
Yes, the old badges.
Tom Wilkie. It was Tom Wilkie. He was a big badge man, wasn't he?
Tom Wilkie loved the badge.
Loved the badge. And then, funny enough, it reminded me when we got on the plane to go on one of the European trips last night. Someone pulled out all the badges. Who wants to buy a badge and things like that? And I bought some actually, but it's things like that. You forget that was real big part of football of that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was great actually. All that it's funny that strip from the Bowen down to the gates at West Ham, you had that smell of burger with the rancid onions outside, and you had Overlander Sea. I can still picture where he was standing on that, like where the bit on the sort of the bollard on the road was out, wasn't it? And you turned to the east stand or the north bank, the Bobby Moore, sorry, and then you had anyway like over that on the left, the little shop in the corner as well, and then years ago you had the old porter cabin at the front of the gates, the old club shop.
Unbelievable.
A club shop. They moved that down the training ground. That's now the manager's office.
No expense spared down at West Ham.
That's probably still knocking around. First team training. So we've got Everton this weekend. Everton away. Not usually a happy hunting ground for us.
No, not at all.
What do you reckon? Well, we neither of us got any points last week. You said a 2-1 loss, and I said a 3-1 loss. So we were well out of it on that, which is great.
Well out of it. It's going to be tough this week, definitely. I've watched Everton at home recently, and they're actually pretty good. They're pretty good at home, like well organised, hard to break down. They don't seem, probably going to jinx it, but they don't seem to score too many goals. But they do have a bit of a threat. It's going to be tough.
They're a little bit like we have been over the years. They're very good from set pieces now.
Yeah. I mean, Dyche and Moyes and, two peas in the pod, basically, aren't they?
I just and I worry our defence. We look a little bit weak in that area. It's funny, since you've told me about Areola with corners, I don't stop seeing it now. Like crosses, sorry.
Yeah.
But again, he made some fantastic saves again yesterday. So I think we just have to let him go. I think he's maybe he's not as good on that and kicking, but he's shot stopping. He's saving us games at this minute.
It's probably a bit of a bonus, a goalkeeper being really demanding in his penalty area. But yeah, he's shot stopping second to none. So you've got to accept that. It all depends on what West Ham turn up, and you just don't know. We're capable of going there and beating them, getting a decent result, but at the same time, we're capable of stinkers as well.
I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh yeah, I was going to say 1-1.
Okay, so we're both going. I think you'd be happy with a draw there at this moment.
It's not the end of the world, is it?
No, I think Everton away. Look, you'd like to win it. It's just never been I'm really more thinking about previous. We just never usually a place we ever win. Lost last season there 1-0, I think, and we were abysmal.
It's gonna be a tough game. We're gonna have to play well to get a decent result.
Yeah, I think so. They're not a terrible side now. Obviously, they had big deductions of points, which made a big difference. But they had their points given back to them, 4 points given back to them, didn't they, this week?
Yeah.
So they only got 6 points.
Pressure.
So yeah, I'd like to. Who's going to score against us? There's a man in that team that hasn't scored for many, many months. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. There is my prediction.
I think his last goal was against us when they beat us 1-0 at the London.
Do you know what it was? Because I saw it yesterday on Instagram. So he will definitely be scoring. Neil Mopay is the other one. Done it again this weekend. The guy never scores and scores it like all the time against us. It's funny how certain players always, and that's Lukaku was a one. Yeah, that's what made me think of Everton. Yeah. I used to always bet on Lukaku scoring against us.
But with us, it's always the striker who hasn't scored for it. It's either the striker who always scores against us, or the striker who hasn't scored for ages always scores against us.
Like a Glenn Murphy. Man was hardly prolific, but he was like prime Zidane against us.
Glenn Murray.
Is that what I said? Glenn Murray. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
For Bournemouth and Brighton. He went to Bournemouth, didn't he, after? He was at Brighton. I think he went to Bournemouth and then done it to us as well.
He definitely moved, and he carried on scoring against
He
us. Yeah.
just carried
So
on. It was yeah, and then other players like Callum Wilson always scores against us, doesn't he? Michael Owen used to always score. Wayne Rooney used to always score against us. But you kind of expected it then. They're elite strikers.
Yeah. They're
But
top players.
your Glenn Murrays of the world are not like the only goals a season they used to pick up were against West Ham.
Yeah.
But so I think I think we'd both be happy with a draw there. We'd like to see a good performance. It'd be lovely to get a win.
I think a win is a great it's a great result.
A win and then going into Freiburg the following week.
Yeah.
Because then we've got, I'm just looking at our fixtures. We've got Everton, Burnley at home, Villa at home, Newcastle away, Spurs away. So we've got a few.
Spurs home.
Newcastle away, Spurs home. There's a few winnable games in there, and then kind of could go either way. Like Newcastle, we could beat. Villa, we could beat. And Spurs, on our day, we can beat them.
Yeah.
We beat them earlier in the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
We beat them. What was the score in that game?
This season?
Yeah.
2-1.
For some reason, I can't
Bowen,
remember.
Bowen and Ward-Prowse.
Yes, I do remember it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Quite good memory. My long-term memory is great. My short-term memory on that sort of stuff, rubbish.
Yeah, mine's the other way around.
Well, get off. And you're not going to Everton this week?
Not going Everton, going Freiburg. And then, did you say it's Burnley at home?
Burnley at home, Sunday, March the 10th. So you'll be Freiburg, Burnley that week, and then you've got, and then you'll have the return on the Thursday as well of West Ham Freiburg. So you've got a 3-game week.
Have you seen the kickoff time for that return game at the London Stadium? It's 5:30 kickoff.
Yeah, it is. I'm just looking at it now because it's a 10:45 kickoff for me, which is lovely. So I've got a nice 7 a.m., 12 p.m., 7 a.m., 10:45 p.m. Oh, and then Newcastle is a 5:30 a.m. That'll be a nice one. Your clocks must change because they can be 4:30, so the clocks must change then to make it 5:30. A bit better than a 4:30, I've got to say. Makes it a bit harder to watch. But because we're always in Europe lately, we rarely get the 4:30s. I'm lucky we don't usually get the early. We don't usually get the early round. So, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone to listening. Everyone listening, you can listen to us on Apple, YouTube, or Spotify. It is Mr. Moon Left the Building with Sam Palmer and Addy Chard, and it is goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Anywhere you like, anywhere you like, anywhere you like, anywhere you like.
£2 for £1, anywhere you like, £2 for £1, anywhere you like.